ഇപ്പോൾ സീതാറാം യെച്ചൂരി സംസാരിക്കുന്നു. അതിലേക്ക്.
On people's livelihoods. Along with this, cooking gas prices have gone up, both piped and cylinder, and this transportation costs have triggered a inflationary spiral in the economy, with every single item of daily consumption costing much more. People are already suffering under the pandemic. On top of that, to impose this sort of a burden on them is not only unbearable, it is not acceptable. So therefore we have decided Central Committee to give a call for an all India protest action. It will take place at all levels, from the village level, taluka level to the cities, and we will appeal to all people who have the welfare of the Indian people in mind to support this protest actions and force the government to withdraw the central excise duties on petroleum products. The ministers of this government are making preposterous claims that the amount collected through these excise duties is being used for free vaccinations and for the social welfare schemes that the Modi government is undertaking. This is preposterous in the sense, if people are paying more money for a litre of petrol or diesel, and that money is being used to give vaccinations, how are the vaccinations free? People are paying for it. So propaganda is free vaccination, while you are charging money from the people. Secondly, what happened to the 35,000 crores allocation in the budget for vaccinations? What happened to the nearly 4 lakh crores of rupees for all the centrally sponsored schemes? Budget allocations means they are already accounted for. The money is already there. Now, on top of that, you are collecting, last year, this government collected 3.61 lakh crores. 3.61 lakh crores only from the central excise duties on petroleum products. This is extra revenue for them. So what is happening is nothing but simply put, it is the loot of the Indian people to finance the extravagant expenditures of this government. That is not acceptable, and that is why these protest actions, and we are demanding that immediately withdraw these central excise duties on petroleum products. The second issue discussed was, of course, the most burning issue before the country and an unprecedented struggle of our farmers, our kisans, our annadatas. It is now going to be 1 year, 26th of November, when this struggle began, demanding the repeal of the farm laws and a legal entitlement for MSP. After some initial discussions, the Modi government stopped talking to these farmers. No discussions. In fact, on the contrary, they are making all efforts to try and disrupt this peaceful struggle. The latest of that was the Lakhimpur Kheri incident. And in fact, that barbarity that was done there, that has evoked a greater support and response in favor of the farmers' struggle. And it is actually boomeranged on the Modi government and the BJP government, state governments. Now the Union Home Minister for State, he continues to remain in the cabinet. PM Modi refuses to sack him or make sure that he leaves the cabinet because of the involvement of his son, the prime accused, and also his own speeches a couple of days before that incident, which actually provoked this violence. Now, this clearly shows the complicity of the Modi government in this whole incident. The son is under custody, but the Supreme Court has actually critically commented on the UP government's attitude of how it is dealing and proceeding with the case. In spite of that, justice is being delayed. We say justice has to be immediately delivered speedily on in this issue, and the support that the Kisan struggle is receiving from all quarters, the Central Committee decided to extend all support and solidarity for all the calls of protest that have been given for the 26th of November, and even before that by the Sangyukt Kisan Morcha and this Confederation of the Trade Unions, the central trade unions, have also given a call on this 26th of November, which is 1 year of the All India strike that they had called last year against privatization. So the Central Committee decided that the party will extend full support, solidarity, and all the party units have been asked to extend all possible help and support to make these protest actions a success. And we continue to demand that immediately repeal these agri laws and enact the legal entitlement for MSP as cost C2 plus 50 with that formula that the Swaminathan Commission had recommended. The third aspect that the Central Committee has come down very strongly is this wholesale loot of India's national assets. Now, apart from this privatization of all the public sector units, privatization of our natural resources and minerals, apart from all this, now a new methodology has been found in this national monetization pipeline, whereby infrastructure assets created by the country during the last 7 decades are being handed over for a song or free to the private corporates. Now, this is something we just cannot accept, this loot of India's assets and people's wealth. The Air India has been virtually gifted to the Tatas for free. The Tatas pays a cash amount of 2,700 crores. That is all for the entire fleet of planes, for all the bilateral agreements with other countries, for the membership of being in the Star Alliance, for everything else connected with the airline. Only 2,700 crores is what the government will get. The debt that Tata is supposed to repay or incur is 15,000 crores odd. And that will be restructured by the banks. After all, Tatas are Tatas. So this is virtually free for them, 2,700 crores. Virtually free gift to the Tatas. Likewise, now the privatization of our public sector banks is underway. Amendments are being brought, will be brought. The government is prepared to the Bank Nationalization Act to facilitate this privatization. Now, against this, there are widespread protests that are happening in many of these individual units, in many sectors, like we saw in the Ordnance Board struggle of the workers there, and at the All India level, the central trade unions have decided to issue All India protest actions. The details they will give out. But the CPIM Central Committee said that we will extend our full support to all these struggles, which is actually the protection of India's wealth. I mean, this is not in terms of anybody's personal interest, but is actually protecting the wealth of our country. Now, the other important thing that which the Central Committee felt immediate intervention is necessary is that regarding the pandemic. Now, the pandemic situation, after the mismanagement, the gross mismanagement, the lockdown, the problems of the migrant workers, after all that mismanagement and the bungling in not ordering the vaccinations in time and the delay in the process of vaccination in our country, to cover up all these things, the Modi government has embarked on the great celebration of 100 crore vaccines. Now, administering 100 crore vaccines is a very laudable thing, there's no doubt about it. But this could have been done much earlier. We had the capacity. Precious time was lost. But even now, after administering 100 crores of vaccines, only 21% of India's population is fully vaccinated. That has got both the shots. Now this is very alarming. PM Modi himself assured the Supreme Court and the country that by year end, all the adults in India will be fully vaccinated. Now very surreptitiously, the government has now lowered the target, not to 100% of the adults, but to 60% of the population. Or even this 60% target, that is, they consider it essential to stop any third wave from emerging. To achieve this 60% target also, you require to vaccinate at 1.5 million, that is 1.5 crores, 1.5 crores of vaccinations per day. We'll have to give in order to achieve this target of 60% by the year end. Now today's rate of vaccination is below 40,000. Unless this accelerates, it's impossible to prevent any further catastrophe. Already the COVID cases are on the rise. Every day now, 60,000 odd cases are being reported. More than 650 people are dying every day because of the coronavirus. Now, if this, and there are new variants that have emerged in various parts of the world, international travel has been opened up. Whatever precautions you take, the only way, you can't prevent any sort of a new variant to enter India or leave India if it develops here during the festive season. So the only way to protect is vaccination. That is why we are demanding that immediately accelerate the pace of vaccination. Augment all your domestic sources of production of vaccines. You have government, public sector units that can produce vaccines speedily, but they are just not being utilized. We say you utilize all of those domestic facilities and import if necessary, but achieve this target of complete adult population fully vaccinated by the year end. That is the only protection we can have. Because the cases of people getting the infection after 2 doses of vaccination are also rising. Now that is a big danger, so this has to be accelerated immediately. Now as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, we had a very highly publicized, with great fanfare, the Union Home Minister visiting the state. He visited the state under military fortification virtually. They deployed drones and security forces, etc., and hundreds were detained as a preventive measure. And there he goes there and makes an amazing statement and a claim that because of the abrogation of Article 370, there is relative peace in Kashmir. Now the recent spate of killings of civilians and the targeted killings of civilians is something which is very alarming. Everyone in Kashmir only recollects now the situation back in the 1990s that led to a large exodus of people from the valley, and this targeted killings of not Hindu or Muslim, but migrants who have come there to work in Jammu and Kashmir. That is the so-called outsiders. Now this is something which is very, very alarming. And this problem cannot be solved unless there is people's participation through a democratic political process. That is essential. That is what has been the experience of the country in the past. Unless the people unitedly rise against this extremist violence, it's not possible to put an end to it. But they can rise only if the democratic political process is fully restored. But that is what needs to be done. Therefore, we are asking, restore the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The PM and the Home Minister promised this, and the floor of the House, that there will be floor of the Parliament, that the statehood will be restored. Release all political prisoners, end the curbs on the media, and stop the indiscriminate arrests, particularly of the youth. Unless these are done, the people's involvement in the process of meeting the challenge of this extremist violence cannot succeed. Further, we have urged the Honorable Supreme Court. It's now 2 years, more than 2 years, since the challenges to the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A of the Constitution have been filed before the Supreme Court, questioning their constitutional validity. These have not been taken up for hearing till date. By not hearing them, a fait accompli is being permitted, whereby this is getting implemented. So we are urging the Supreme Court to take up this matter with urgency and hear these petitions and give their verdict. The other issue that is of great concern, and in the coming days, it may happen to create a lot more problems for the country and the people, is this crisis in the power sector. Private power generation units who rely exclusively on imported coal, they have now used the rise in the international prices of coal as a pretext to pass the burden on to the consumers. And even to government agencies and state governments who draw the power from the national grid. For them also, it is in some cases, it has gone up to 20 rupees a unit. Now, if this is the rate at which agencies draw the power, what the consumer will pay after all this price rise and price hike? The hike in electricity charges also comes in. That will break the backbone of most of the people in our country. Now, there is no coal shortage in India. That coal that is there in India has to be properly deployed, properly allocated. And this entire privatization, deregulation, and the mismanagement of the energy and the power sector by this government, central government, is what led to this crisis. So we are demanding that the Modi government immediately ensure regulations are put in place and urgent measures are taken by the central government to ensure that there are no power blockouts, there are no blackouts that happen in the country, and that will affect industry more than individuals also, and which means whatever little economic recovery that is happening, even that will get slowed down or destroyed. So this is something central government must immediately ensure.